Oh, Bev, you do make me chuckle.
Notice how long you paused when I said, why is it embarrassing then? Kind of crazy how they act all dogmatic like when I bring up the things that they thought is settled science, but it isn't really settled. But then they say science doesn't prove anything. But they sure do get butthurt when I talk about the things that aren't proven.
That logic again.
Yeah, like we can't trust our senses, but all we have is observational science.
Proof always comes through logic, like an argument process that you can follow. Much like science, right? You're meant to be able to repeat physical science, that sort of stuff. Old school stuff, but this new modern stuff doesn't require that. It's just mainly mental, but the minds that are doing it are broken. Can't do logic. So how do you expect to do mind science if there's no logic there?
Well, if I'm ever making a fallacious argument, please call me out.
Do I have a broken mind?
Who are you?
Yui.
What's your name?
Yui.
Yui?
Have you
I can't put a
axiomated
persona
any
on it.
contradictions, like have internalized any contradictions?
Okay, what, have I internalized them?
Yeah. Have you got any
What would be an example of
sort
that?
of contradictions inbuilt, or can you actually see what a contradiction is?
I don't think I've got any contradictions in my worldview, but okay.
Well, let me ask you a question. Is the sky blue sometimes? Objectively?
Is the sky blue sometimes?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know.
Uh-oh.
Do you want to know why I don't know?
Are you colorblind?
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay.
Blue-green colorblind.
I can accept that. That's fair enough. Okay. When you get kicked in the balls really hard, does it objectively hurt, or is it just signals going to your brain and you could be
Oh
a
no,
brain
my
in
balls are the size of peas. You could, you couldn't harm those.
Okay, that's weird. So you've never felt ball pain, huh?
Wait, what did you say? Sorry.
Possibly
Have
the
you ever felt
hormones.
have you ever felt ball pain?
Yes, obviously, everyone.
Okay.
Everyone has, except for women, obviously.
Okay, fair enough. And that was objectively painful, not just brain signals that could be your brain in a jar, right?
Well,
No, it's not that. It's objectively painful.
I wouldn't call it. I think brain of the jar can sometimes be a bit confusing, right? So if I say something like an experience machine, I could still be in an experience machine where that actually happened in the experience machine.
Uh-oh.
You know?
Okay, so I'm sitting on my couch. I have a neck massager on my neck because I'm starting to get a headache. So is there actually a neck massager on my neck right now?
Are you trying to see if I'm a 99%er?
Yeah.
Do I know if you've got a necklace on? You're telling me. I mean, I have no reason to really doubt it, but I don't know.
Right, but I know, right? I know whether there's one on my neck, right?
In your mind, imagine ometry.
Eh,
Good, isn't it?
I don't like it. You sound like a hard sophist. I mean,
A sophist.
I didn't mean to say that. I misspoke. A solipsist. You sound like a hard solipsist.
Yeah, ask him about the definitions and axioms, postulates.
You can ask him. I'm not sure if I'm interested in the conversation. I thought he was not a sophist when he said he was blue-green colorblind.
Well, I can't help that. I mean,
Yeah.
I take it to be blue because it looks like what I imagine blue to look like, right? But whatever you're seeing blue to look like, I'm not seeing the same thing.
And that's fair enough. But are you in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean right now?
Am I? I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't call the United Kingdom in the middle of it, no, but quite close
Right. So
by.
you're objectively on the land, right?
Oh, I'm on land. Yes, I'm on land.
Okay, we got a winner. He's not a solipsist.
Oh, I never said I was a I
I
don't know
know.
anything kind of person.
Yeah, I was just trying to make sure because you'd be
It's
surprised. They
look
exist.
I understand that, right? I take it to that I exist. I assume it. It's like a fundamental assumption I have. But even though I assume it, there's not much I can say that I'm not actually in an experience machine, right? Where all my experiences are being made for me by some doctor, and I could wake up at any second and they could say, well, welcome back to reality. That is still possible.
The Arnold Schwarzenegger movie where he went to Mars.
I mean, everyone in here, I would assume, would agree that you could all be in an experience machine, right? That's
I don't think
manufacturing all of your experiences right now
I
in a
don't think so.
laboratory.
I don't think so.
Now, how do you know that?
You've been reading science journals again.
How
No,
do I
this
know
is
that?
this
Because
is
I have.
a
Sorry, new
Robert.
modern
This is a
science
Robert.
journals.
This is a Robert Nozick idea, the experience machine.
So I have, I guess approximately 20 to 30 years of experience in my memory
Yeah,
banks. I can
and
remember.
who knows? You could just that could have all been 10 minutes in the
Okay,
experience machine.
nah, it's real world experiences.
Yeah, I get it. Like it's for utility's sake. We assume that this is the reality. I mean, why would you do anything else, right? But the but regardless,
See, now you're imagining stuff. That's it. Get into the spirit of it.
yeah, exactly. Get into the spirit of it. But
Yeah, this is where I got to pass the mic.
regardless of
You
what
guys
I
go ahead.
assume, right, and I take to be true, I can't really argue against the experience machine or straight lines. You know what I mean?
No.
What, Bev? Do you know that you're not in an experience machine?
Reality is what I call it.
Okay, so all right, I see. So even if you are in the experience machine, it's reality.
Yes.
Yeah, even though it's been made by some technician in
We
a
all live in
lab.
the same reality to me. We're all
In your mind,
experiencing the
you
same
imagine.
reality. Now, you might imagine it differently to me, but I can't imagine what you're imagining. I can only tell you about my experiences in this reality that I consider we share.
See, when you say in this reality, yeah, I mean, I think I would agree in a strange sense where I say the experience machine is our reality, or my reality at least, right? And or could be my reality. But do you think there's another reality that you're just unaware of?
No, I wouldn't. I'm happy with the reality that I'm in. I'm happy thinking about the reality that I'm in rather than thinking about something that isn't. They're not that. Don't talk of the not that.
It's not a not that.
What's
It's just
not a
I
not that?
love that. I love that. I got to remember that. I got to incorporate that into my everyday
it's
life.
just a reality we wouldn't know much about because we're in the experience machine, right?
But it's not that.
It's not not that.
We can
I mean,
describe
it
reality,
could have a lot
but
of
you're
similarities
saying
to the
not
reality
that.
we're in. It could be quite parallel to the reality we're in.
See, this is why it's dangerous to the mind, right? Because this man here can't talk about the reality that we are in.
Oh no! I told you. I assume the reality we're in is.
He's
I
imagining
take it
it's
to
a
be true.
possibility that reality we're in is or not that.
I think we all have to do
And
that. I think it'd be very strange to say we're not in an
certain
experience
people's
machine.
minds are broken.
But it's still possible. Like, I mean, I don't imagine what the outside the experience machine is like, because as far as my mind can tell, I've never been there, right? As far as I can tell. But there's nothing to say tomorrow I won't wake up, log onto Discord, and go, has anyone thought about straight lines? And suddenly awake, and the doctor's looking over me, saying, welcome back. You've had 10 minutes in the experience machine. Would you like to go back? You know, this could happen.
Okay, so what's that movie where Arnold Schwarzenegger went to Mars and had the memory implants or his memory erased or whatever?
I don't know.
It's just like a really bad plot from the 1980s sci-fi with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And you're entertaining it like it's a possibility. It's weird.
Well, it is possible. It has to be. It has to be. It's his experience machine, you might say.
That's weird that he thinks that it has to be.
That's the place he's put his mind. He wants you to go there with him because he can't deal with reality like you can.
You know,
he has to put you in his place, but he doesn't even know where it is. He's lost.
Yeah, I think in that reality, in that reality, I'd say that maybe people would talk about straight lines. You know,
that's what it means. I just figured it out. Yes, he's internalized it. Yeah, he did. So what it says in the Bible is that God will give them up to a reprobate mind. That's what that means.
Can you explain the contradiction then?
Axiomated a contradiction.
Can you explain how it's...
You told us the other day you don't believe the shortest distance between 2 points is possible.
That's not that. It's
within your mind.
I thought we were talking about experience machines. I've never talked about straight lines.
The other day you did.
No,
the other day you used the modus ponens to validate and affirm in the consequent. Like there's multiple ways you've showed us, Yui, that you've got a broken mind.
I think I did quite the opposite. I think I looked at it, saw the problem that you're pointing out, but thought, what was he trying to say, right? And I rebuilt his argument more correct. You know, that's called steel manning, right? Steel manning. Ever thought about doing that once in your life, Bev?
Yeah. Yeah, I've been doing it for ages.
Right, I see.
Yeah, steel manned Nathan Oakley's Measuring the Earth Flat last night. Gave him an out. He could literally, logically say that statement and be true about it. I don't think he'll use it. I sort of fear that I've blocked the only out he's got. He's going to make himself look ridiculous, I fear. But, when you internalize a contradiction, it shows.
Have you ever tried steel manning the globe? Because I imagine...
Dogmatic globe? The dogmatic globe or the real globe?
Well, just a second. I imagine it before you were on the level, you were a flat earther, right? So I would like to know how you would give the best argument for the globe. Like the real globe, not the imagined globe. Although I love imagining things, as you can tell.
Okay. Well, my best argument, I think I did one. Let me just get it for you. Just so you know that, I've already thought about these things.
I was so frustrated with you last night
and then you come in here tonight with absolute genius. Don't talk about the not that.
It's the same
That's
thing.
hilarious, bro.
We did the same thing yesterday, right? The same thing. I think people get focused on the wrong thing and they hear different things than what's actually saying. Here we go. Here's my argument for the real globe. If reality is the real globe, then all proofs within reality will prove the real globe. How about that? Do you agree?
Almost seems non-informative.
Do you reckon we could have a modus polens or a modus tollens from this? And would proofs in reality help prove the real globe? I mean, obviously separating the real globe from the dogmatic globe. Because you could say that the real flat earth, as opposed to the dogmatic flat earth, is the same as the real globe, because we all live in reality, the same reality. We could just say reality, but I mean, people have got linked to these models, false dichotomy I call it. But if we refer to it as the real thing and focus on the proofs within reality, then what's anybody got to problem with? Aren't we all here just discussing reality anyway, or should we be? We should be, I think.
We should be, I think, yeah.
I would choose for your little thing, imaginometer.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
I got a lot of imagination, you know?
Yeah.
I think...
Yeah, but when you
right,
do it geometrically, you're an imaginometer.
I see. I think take a leaf out of Descartes' book,
Or
right,
an
and say that...
imaginometrist. What about that? That's pretty good.
Oh, well, yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one. I take a leaf out of Descartes' book and say imagination is conceiving of the material, right? And you can think about things like geometric things, like a triangle. But if you're imagining something material. And I can do that. Can you do that, Bev?
Can I what? Imagine something that is real.
Yeah, material, right?
Yeah. You can definitely imagine a triangle, because that's the only place you can have really the triangle. It only exists in your imagination, doesn't it?
Yeah, that's a type of imagination. It's called thinking.
Yeah, in the mathematical realm. It's a logical way of thinking. Mathematical way of thinking. Yeah, when that gets interrupted by somebody injecting a contradiction into the heart of that system that you're using, your mind gets broken.
It does, yeah.
So that's what you want to do, is you want your friends around you to point out those contradictions. Like Larry said,
yeah,
point
all
out the
perpendiculars to a plane are parallel.
Let's focus on it.
Yeah. How did you come across these? This how did you build this argument, Bev? Because I assume you didn't start off like this, right? What made you want to be an innovator in the flat Earth community?
This is for reality, right? I do this for everybody.
I see.
It's just that like we got Drew into this because somebody called me a child abuser, really, and then pointed a finger at me and then called me a flat earther. So I mean, I think if history books were recorded, and probably it is on the internet, I bet I would probably be the person that said I'm not a flat earther more than anyone. The mostest.
Yeah.
And that's because certain people keep calling me a flat earther, and I don't know why. Maybe
I know
something to
one.
do with this straight line being the shortest distance between 2 points. Maybe because I said
I
level
think
is a
it's
straight line on a horizontal plane, and that caused somebody to call me a child abuser.
I think I know why someone would call you a flat earther. Right? I think it's quite obvious why someone would do it.
Really?
Because obviously, yeah, I'll explain. Right? Because obviously, you say it's not flat, right?
Say I
But
have a proof that the Earth is not flat. Yeah.
yes, correct. But I would say that all flat earthers would agree with you on the substance of what you're saying, right? Just the term, the semantical problem there. That's the issue. And
You'd say everybody would agree that the Earth is not flat. Then fair enough. Let's go from there. Yeah. We're all agreed that the Earth is not flat, right? Now, carry on with your assumptions about labeling people.
so then
Because
I
it
would
would
say,
sound like a contradiction, right? If somebody's got a proof that the Earth is not flat, yet somebody else continues to call them a flat earther, wouldn't the person that's doing that be contradicting both what they know and the appearance of this to other people? Wouldn't they be openly contradicting themselves to everybody
well, I
else? And
think,
surely everybody else would be able to see it too.
the flat earthers would just say that it's just like, imagine, like, I want you to close your eyes and imagine, Beth. Imagine flat was a noun, right? Flat earther was a noun, right? Wasn't actually to say there was no elevation change. It's just a useful common term that people describe to say not globe.
Yeah, I've heard
Right?
people use it as a pleonasm, right? And also redefining of horizontal. There's a few different ways I've heard people justify what you're saying. But like I say, I've got an argument. I've got a proof that the Earth is not
Fair.
flat.
Okay, fair. The problem is that the established term, flat and horizontal being synonyms, was already been established. So if you look these terms up in the dictionary, you very quickly find that flat and horizontal are synonymous when it comes to, I think, an adjective, or no, sorry, an adverb. Whatever, just look it up. It's not that hard.
Yeah, but the synonym argument leaves you in a really tricky position.
No, it doesn't.
Yes, it does. Logic does these things. It leads you on a path. The synonym argument.
But let's be clear. Look, let's be clear. Words are token meaning pairs, okay? Words do not have a single token meaning pair all the time. Sometimes they have more than one in any lexicon, in any language.
Can I give an example? Bank.
Okay, no, I'll give you an example right now. Show me anyone who's ever used the term flat earth to mean that the earth is topographically smooth and has zero elevation changes.
Want me to tell you the problem with the synonym argument? We try to tell people this, right? If level, horizontal, and flat are synonyms, then flat and vertical are antonyms.
No.
Okay, listen, I'm going to be very clear. Once again, in a common parlance lexicon, right? You have dictionary definitions, you have terms, and you have employment of terms and the way people use them. Okay, people will use, I put my TV flat against the wall. What do they mean by that? People will use, I put my rug flat on the floor. What do they mean by that? Okay, to get to this hyper-specific parsing of pedantic terminology, when everyone understands what people mean, I mean, yeah, you could do that, that's fine, but it really serves no purpose, unless it's provocation or exclusivity. So to single yourself out among the crowd, or like you said, to avoid the pejorative connotation. But everyone who uses the earth is flat, right? Nobody is meaning what you mentioning elevation changes has to do with debunking that term. Nobody means that because that's not the term they're employing. Yes, it's the same word, it's the same letters, FLAT, but that's not what they mean by it.
Yeah, I'm just making people aware of the implications of using the synonym argument. By
Yeah,
employing
well, I mean,
synonyms,
I
you
just
end up
debunked
with
your
an
synonym
antonym.
argument. I just debunked your synonym argument.
What? Just by saying I can still have it. No, once you employ the synonym
God, dude.
argument, then you
Dude,
have
you're committing a
flat
lexical
and
fallacy. You're
vertical
committing a lexical fallacy. I'm
being
sorry.
antonyms.
It's not, dude.
It is well known. I'm surprised. This is why I think
Okay,
the logic
okay,
has
this is
been
how well known
lost.
this is,
The
bro.
implications of it.
When somebody says hang the TV flat on my wall, dude, okay? They know what they're talking about. No one's going to put the TV horizontal, bro, on the floor. I mean, your parsing of this
Just
argument, dude,
disprove your
is
own
just of
argument,
ridiculous
mate.
proportions.
That shows that you can't use it as a synonym. Because it's not. Flat
Bro,
can also be vertical.
let's get clear one more time. Let's get clear one more time. Words are token meaning pairs. They're a semiotic relationship between a convention of those pairs. Now,
like a sophist.
one word can have multiple tokens with a single meaning, or a single meaning with multiple tokens. Right?
I'm just trying to make everybody aware of the ridiculousness.
Yeah,
of
you go
using
ahead
the
and keep doing that,
argument.
dude. You know, it
If you
comes
want
off
to
very
convince them that it's a good argument, then
and asshole-ish. Okay, I'm sorry. That's what it comes off. That's what it comes off as, and that's what most people think of you when they think of that way you go against it.
No, I could go against it because I think the synonym argument opens up problems with the antonym.
Oh my goodness, dude. It's like a brick wall, bro.
It's a redefining of flat to make it horizontal in the context of an argument that you want to use. But then you just change it if you want. Flat can also be vertical as well as horizontal, which means that your idea of flat Earth can also be vertical.
Oh, dude, that again begs the question of, are people that retarded that when you say the term flat Earth, they're going to think, oh, you mean the Earth is sitting on its side vertical? Let me ask you this question, friend. Who has ever thought that in the history of this argument?
Some people might be able to see the contradiction within it.
Dude, nobody has ever thought that.
I don't want to employ that internally.
That's why your argument isn't serious, bro.
Of understanding.
Bro, nobody ever thinks that way, except pedantic assholes.
Yeah, but when you're in a conversation with somebody, you have to agree on terms. And if you're just saying you can use words colloquially, then you got a problem when you're conversating with somebody.
Dude, why don't you give me a concrete example where the terms that Bev just said are misunderstood in the way that he just said they're misunderstood? Go ahead. Give me one example.
He tried to give you the synonym argument, and you just said,
I
no, you
said
can
an
use flat colloquially.
example of this occurring in reality, bro. Where somebody was so confused. What I'm trying to tell you, dude, is where is somebody so confused that they think when you say flat Earth, that you're thinking that the Earth is vertical orientated. The plane of the Earth, the plane of the horizon is vertical. Who's ever thought that?
Well, some people are saying the Earth is measured flat, so there's that. Some people are saying the Earth is
okay, let
flat.
me ask you this question, friend. Let me ask you this question. When they say Earth is measured flat, what do they mean by that?
You'd have to ask them. That sounds crazy.
Okay, so you don't even know what they mean. So how can you critique it, bro?
Nonsense. That's what
Because
we're trying to tell you.
When you do measure things, you measure them.
Dude, look. I want to know what they, the person you're critiquing that you're claiming they're nonsense, what do they mean by flat?
Straight.
That's what I'm saying. Like now you're asking for a meaning for it, but you were just on about it being a colloquial term that you can use.
Dude, I listen. However, I know, and I parsed out the multiple employments of the token FALT with different connotations in different contexts and literal different dictionary definitions and defined synonyms that exist in dictionaries.
Okay, so it's a synonym of flat then. When they say flat, it's measured flat, they mean some sort of a synonym, not
No.
not an antonym, right? They definitely don't mean an antonym when they're saying flat, do they?
Dude, what they mean is exactly what it is, dude, which is they mean horizontal. Okay, the synonym relationship is level, horizontal, and flat. Okay, you could
Yeah, but
find
they-
those in
I
dictionaries.
think Buster's
Okay,
trying
this
to tell
isn't
you that they
me
do
coming up
measure it
with this
on the
idea.
vertical, though, don't they?
What?
They make measurements on the vertical datum when they're
Of what?
measuring the land. Now, does Nathan Oakley mean that's flat, the vertical? Because you seem to think it's horizontal, and vertical is an antonym.
Dude, a horizontal plane is a horizontal plane, right? It's not a vertical plane. So when someone's talking about flat Earth, they're talking about the Earth is generally oriented as a horizontal plane. That's what they're saying. They're not meaning that it's smooth and it has zero variation on the y-axis, which would be elevation,
Z.
off of a parallel horizontals. I mean, you could
Z.
use whatever you want.
Yeah, computer
But
programmers use the XY usually.
yes, but z is the depth axis, right?
Yeah. On a
When you're
computer
looking
screen, you
through,
keep the XY of original and
yeah.
you put the depth as being Z. But in reality, those of us that measure reality, the XY plane gets led down on the floor, and then we use the Z as the elevation.
Yeah, that's fine. It doesn't really matter. You could use A, B, C, or blue, red, green. It don't matter.
Yeah, Cartesian coordinates, Euclidean, perpendiculars,
Right.
axis.
All of those parsings still don't change the fact that 99.9% of people, when they say flat Earth, right, they don't mean an idealized plane. They don't mean smooth. They don't mean zero elevation changes or topographical changes. That's not what they mean.
Yeah, the difference, right? There's a synonym for those people listening, are words that are the same with respect to something, and an antonym is the opposite. So vertical is considered as the opposite of horizontal. So therefore, vertical is an antonym of horizontal. But if you put flat as a synonym of horizontal, then it's also an antonym of vertical. That's why I said at the beginning, the synonym argument fails. It's a bad example of the use of a
you could
type
say
of
that, and that's
argument.
fine,
It's
bro.
like a
That's
semantical
fine.
argument. But
The problem is that this way of speaking and talking and the parsing of the context clues, which tell you which meaning they're meaning, okay, doesn't allow for your argument.
yeah, that's the
Because
colloquial
when someone says flat,
development that you've done. Not many people
what?
understand that.
I know, dude. But let me ask you this question. Except for retarded globers, okay?
The real globe?
When someone hears flat Earth,
You're talking about the real
Earth,
globers.
when someone hears flat Earth, right? Are they actually taking seriously that the flat earther is claiming that the Earth has zero variance
I don't know.
in the
I've
horizontal
talked to a
plane?
lot of people and found it very difficult to talk to people. I consider it an oxymoron, right? Because the Earth is measured not flat.
Dude, okay, now go to the dictionary and find the answer for what you mean by measured not flat.
On the vertical datum. It's quite obvious. I've done it.
Okay. So what? So what does that mean? Like parse it out some more.
It's measured
Does that mean
not
there's
flat.
no undulations? Like what does it mean?
It means
Don't just say it's measured
actually
not
measured.
flat.
I
I'm asking you
know
what
how
it
to
means
do
by
it.
flat.
Do you know how to
Okay,
measure
what do
the
you mean
elevation
by flat?
changes in reality?
Right. So there's elevation changes off of the horizontal, right? So you pick any point on the horizontal plane,
Down.
right? And
When you're doing it
eventually,
with an auto level, you're measuring down, aren't you? The land is below, and the horizontal that
Okay,
you
fine.
used is above. That measurement
Fine.
is a measurement of a rod that's positioned vertically. It's a measurement on
Right.
that staff,
Right. So
the
all
vertical
points,
staff.
right? So all points that you measure aren't going to be on the same plane, correct?
You're measuring the land underneath, yeah. It's not on the same plane. The horizontal
It's not on the
is
same plane that you're referencing.
The established, yes. The horizontal is above, right? And other stuff that you're measuring is at the bottom of the measuring rod, underneath. You measure the vertical change, the difference. It's called differential leveling.
Yeah, no, duh,
You're
dude.
measuring the difference between the
no,
levels
you need to measure it
on the vertical.
from the anus to the vortex?
Anyway, the point is, you're using the word as its meaning. You could go look it up in the dictionary. When you look it up, whether it's adjective, adverb, or noun or whatever, the one categorical definition, okay, is smooth with no elevation changes or rises or bumps and relative to the point, right? That's what flat means in that context. And you keep looking, right? And you'll find another one where it says flat, right? And then it'll talk to you about an orientation relative to the horizontal, relative to level, right? So people have been using this term flat to mean horizontally arranged for decades upon decades upon decades upon decades. Okay, so nobody is meaning that it's smooth with no variations when they say flat earth, dude. Not one person is actually seriously meaning that. So to say, oh, the earth's not flat because I'm using a restricted definition of flat by isolating the token out of its various definitions and context and telling you it's not flat in that context means that you shouldn't say it's flat. Well, they don't mean what you mean when you say it's flat. That's the problem.
Sorry, I've got to go and see my dad. Problems at home. It's been interesting. I don't think we came to a conclusion there.
We did come to a conclusion. You just didn't concede the conclusion.
I might not have heard it.
Just because we don't come to an agreement doesn't mean we didn't come to a conclusion.
Well, I'd say I didn't get to come to a conclusion because I've got to go. My dad phoned.
I mean, what conclusion could you possibly come to? There's no way to rebut what I just said. It's all just a matter of preferential treating of connotations. That's really what it is.
Yeah, it's all definitions are meaningless, right? Contextual.
No, friend. No, that is definitions have meaning. For you to characterize what I just went through as definitions are meaningless, it just shows that you just don't have the depth for what I said, bro. So why don't you go take care of your family and piss right off?
Everybody else, be careful of that synonym argument.
Oh yeah, I'll be real careful of it, dude. I clearly parsed it out quite eloquently. It's not my problem that you don't get it. So I'm gonna go ahead and help you out, so you can go take care of your family instead of trying to do shots across the bow.